Vaccines, neuropsychiatric disorders, and a temporal association. The study I'm about to reveal to you was conducted through Yale University School of Medicine and Pennsylvania State University College of Medicine, printed in Frontiers in Psychiatry this January 2017. And keep in mind, due to the volatile nature of the study I'm about to reveal to you, I do not want to ad-lib beyond what the researchers intended. Keep in mind to utilize the word temporal, meaning there's possibly a causal relationship, not a causative, as well as they also stated the study limitations and labeled this a pilot study, meaning further research needs to be done to either confirm the results or a connection, or disprove the results and or a connection itself. So let us proceed. Title of the study is as follows: Temporal association of certain neuropsychiatric disorders following vaccination of children and adolescents, a pilot case control study, printed in the Journal of Frontiers in Psychiatry. Again, conducted through Pennsylvania State University College of Medicine and Yale University School of Medicine, printed obviously as stated above. Now, keep in mind, since I don't want to ad-lib or embellish, I'm going to read direct quotes from the researchers. It does not mean I necessarily agree or disagree with what they say. I just want to stick to the research as presented. Now, later on, I'd love to do a study of the study. However, for simplicity and time limitations, I'm just going to briefly go through it and leave it up to you to go more into the meat of the details of this particular volatile study. It states as follows: although the association of measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine and autism spectrum disorder has been convincingly disproven, the onset of certain brain-related autoimmune and inflammatory disorders has been found to be temporally associated with the antecedent administration of various vaccines. The neuropsychiatric disorders we're discussing in the following study, remember, does not mean the vaccine caused any one of these, but these are the ones they looked at: obsessive compulsive disorder, anorexia nervosa, anxiety disorder, chronic tic disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, major depressive disorder, and bipolar disorder. Now, before I proceed also, since I don't want to ad-lib, the researchers utilize something called a hazard ratio to determine the potential risk, if any risk at all. Now, before I proceed, let's go to Wikipedia Commons to know exactly what a hazard ratio is so you can interpret or help you to interpret the data. It is as follows. Wikipedia Commons states, the hazard ratio, HR, is the ratio of hazard rates corresponding to the conditions described by two levels of an explanatory variable. No math involved here. For example, in a drug study, the treated population may die at twice the rate per unit time as the control population. The hazard ratio would then be 2, indicating a higher hazard of death from the treatment. So in this case, if it's a 2, you're looking at double. If it's 1.8, you have the following number. So let us proceed. Keep that 1.8 in mind because it's important. All right, study parameters as follows: temporal association of certain neuropsychiatric disorders following vaccination of children and adolescents, as stated, published in the journals Frontiers in Psychiatry. DOI as follows: funding. Got a little bit of a problem with this. There's a COI. Some of the funders were involved in the research itself. Not a fan of that. However, though, the funders also tend to be pretty pro benefit of vaccine. So you'll find it stated 3 times in the research itself, them stating the benefits of vaccines overall comparative to the risk, meaning they believe the benefits of vaccines far outweigh the risk. Study participants, obviously they have to look at databases. That's what they looked at. Methods, kind of statistical, but that's how they did it. Results are as follows. Subjects with newly diagnosed anorexia nervosa were more likely than controls to have had any vaccination within the previous 3 months. Influenza vaccinations during the prior 3, 6, and 12 months were also associated with incident diagnosis of anorexia nervosa, obsessive compulsive disorder, and anxiety disorder. Several other conditions were also significant with hazard ratios greater than 1.4. We're looking at hepatitis A with OCD, anorexia nervosa, hepatitis B with anorexia nervosa, and meningitis with anorexia nervosa, and chronic tic disorder. Now, let's look right at the chart. Now, if you notice here, that's all the raw numbers. So I'm leaving it up there to you to see. If you notice in certain cases, it looks like in the vaccine groups, certain groups perform better than others. But it's for you to look at the data and draw your own conclusion. So basically later on, when research begins to delve into the particular study, they look at the pluses of the study, the minuses of the study, the faults or the strengths, either prove or disprove any connection or correlation that the researchers happen to illuminate on in this particular case. So if you look at it, to highlight what they said, subject with newly diagnosed anorexia nervosa were more likely controls have had any vaccination the previous 3 months, has a ratio of 1.8. Influenza vaccinations in the prior 3, 6, and 12 months were also associated with the incident diagnosis of anorexia nervosa, obsessive compulsive disorder, and anxiety disorder. Several other associations were also significantly higher with hazard ratios of greater than 1.4. Again, I just want to bring the study to your attention. Keep in mind the authors do state its limitations. It is just preliminary, doesn't cause anything or show a direct causative relationship. They just notice possibly a connection between one and the other. Doesn't mean that connection's there, but at least according to the research, to the data that they grabbed, that's the connection they see. Now there could be other correlations in the background which can result in this having a higher rate or higher hazard ratio than the controls. That's for the future to tell. But in any case, it's important for you to know, and so we can look forward to seeing future research to either approve or disprove any connection between these particular vaccines and neuropsychiatric disorders. In the meantime, it's just something I feel that you need to know. Ralph Turchiano signing off. See you once again in 7 days. And thank you very, very much, as always, for listening. And I hope you find this information of use. Catch you all next time. Bye.